ॐ गुरुरेव घति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरुः मातिरस्ति गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे अच्युतानन्द गोविन्द माधव सच्चिदानन्द नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। We are seeing Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana and we are seeing the Dashama Skanda in it and we are seeing the Leelas of Bhagavan. Now in this video we will see some more Leelas of Bhagavan Krishna. One day all these gopas were tending the cattle and they were playing some games and Krishna was playing the flute and the cattle also enjoyed that music. So they were all doing their own work. Suddenly some of the friends of Krishna, they came to him and those gopas asked Krishna, Krishna, we are very hungry. Do something. We want to have some food. What all we bought were over. So we want some food. So please do something. And Krishna said that in a nearby place, some brahmanas are doing some yajna for a long, long time. They are doing the yajna to attain heaven. So you go to them and tell them that I have sent you. You are my emissaries and I have sent you and ask them to give some food so they may help. So you all go there, he said. And these gopas, they went to those brahmanas and they were pure ritualists. They were doing that yajna with full concentration. And these gopas, they requested those brahmanas to give some food. Those brahmanas, they pretended as if they did not hear these gopas. So they were doing the yajna itself, so much concentrated in the yajna. These gopas asked for some time, they repeated this, we have come here to rent our cattle and we were sent here by Krishna, who is our leader. We want some food. We have come far away from our home. All the food we bought were over, so please give us some food. It is for Krishna we are taking this food. Like this they requested, but they pretended as if they did not hear it at all. They did not reject them, as at the same time they did not assent to them also. So they were busy involved in their work and pretended as if they did not hear itself. So these boys waited for some time, went back to Krishna and said that, Krishna, those brahmanas did not care itself. We requested them for many times, but they did not care. They did not even see us. Like this they said. And Krishna said, Manya payada padnibhyaha sasangarshana magatam dasyanti kamamannam vaha snigdha mayushidadhiya. Now you go to the wives of those brahmanas. They are living in a tent nearby and they love me. They snigdha mayushidadhiya. They respect me a lot. They love me a lot. So if you go and request them for food, dhasyandi kamavannam vaha, they may give you the desired food for you. So you go and request to those wives of those brahmanas who are doing these rituals. They love me and they respect me, so you go and ask them. So these boys, they went to those Brahmana women, the women folk of these Brahmanas who were doing this ritual. They were well dressed, they were sitting in a place, they were talking with each other, and they were sitting in a good place, surrounded by their relatives and all. So these Gopa boys, they went and asked those Brahmana women, "We have been sent by Krishna. He is tending cattle in a nearby place. We all came there as a group, but all our food were over. So now we are so hungry, so please give us some food." Like this, the Gopa boys requested to those Brahmana women. Immediately, when they heard the name Krishna itself, they were so excited. They immediately went inside, they bought some food, and they were so happy to meet Krishna. And they all bought the fruit and came along with these Gopas. When they stepped out of their tents, that is their temporary house, they were obstructed by all men in their family and relatives. They were obstructed by their husband, brothers. So many people obstructed them not to see Krishna, because these Brahmanas, they are so much supporting, or maybe in fear they support Hamsa. So in that fear, and what they thought, all these Brahmanas who are doing the rituals, they thought, well, this Krishna is merely a cowherd boy. That's all. They did not know that he is a divine personality. He is Bhagavan Narayana himself. And it is for him, to satisfy him, they are doing these rituals. All that they do not know. So they thought that he is a mere cowherd boy, the leader of that group. That's all. But this women folk that is the wives of these Brahmanas, they know very well about Krishna. They have heard many of his leelas and understood that this is not an ordinary Gopa. He is some special kid maybe, or has divine personality. So they wanted to see him. And Krishna also said that these women, they are physically present there, but they are all in mind, they are always thinking about me. So they all came along with these Gopas, and they saw Krishna. They were so excited to see him. They embraced him by their mind itself, and they were so happy. They just offered him food. And Krishna asked, "Swagatam, ladies, come on, come, welcome, I welcome you. Now you have come here a long distance, leaving your house, your husband, your relatives, everyone. Now you have given me the food, it is enough, I am so satisfied with it. Now you go back to your husband and back to your relatives." But these women folk, they said, "We cannot go back, Krishna. We were offended by our men for carrying food for here. We cannot go back. So we have surrendered at your feet. Now you have to take care of us." But Krishna said, No, you have to go back. Maybe your husband and your relatives may forget or may accept what you have done. So you have to go back. This is not the time that you leave your family and come here. So you please go back. And with much hesitation, they went back to their house. And Krishna also assured that when you go back, they will not have any ill will towards you. They may not blame you for anything. Even the society may not blame you. So please go back. So they all went back. Na pritaye nuragaya hyanga sango nrunamiha tanmano mayi yujnana achiran mama vapsyatha. This physical contact is not necessary for spiritual involvement. You go back to your shed or your shelter, go back to your family, you think about me in my mind, you fix your mind on me, then automatically you will attain me. Krishna said this, and all these Brahmana women, they went back to their place. And after they left, Krishna divided that food among all the Gopas. He distributed it, and they all had a very good meal. Everyone, all these Brahmana women, they went back to their place. They were not blamed by anyone, they were not ill treated for coming here, but only one woman, she was rejected by her husband. But what she did was, she worshipped Bhagavan, she sat in a solitary place, worshipped Bhagavan, always thought about Krishna, and attained him. This is how the Brahmana women were blessed by Krishna. When they came back to their place, the husbands of this woman, they lamented that it is Bhagavan came here, but we did not serve him. It is to please him we are doing this yajna, but we did not serve him at all. He came here, but we ignored him. So, what a foolish thing we did. We were so much interested in doing the rituals, but not seeing God. But see our women folk, they all went there. They took this as an opportunity and they went and met Krishna. So they were more intelligent than us. What to do? We are pure ritualists. We missed this opportunity. Like this, they lamented. So this is how Bhagavan blessed the Brahmana women. And these Brahmanas were so much interested in doing the rituals, but not getting the fruit of the rituals. So this is one Leela of Bhagavan. And another Leela of Bhagavan is very famous. It is the lifting of the Govardhanagiri. One day what happened was, Nanda Gopa was sitting on the veranda of his house, and many people, they bought many materials for the sacrifice, for performing in yajna. And Nanda Gopa, he checked whether every material is right, like that, and he was checking like this. And Krishna also sat near Nanda Gopa. And Krishna asked his father, Father Pitha, for what purpose are you doing this yajna? To attain what result are you doing this yajna? Who is the deity to be satisfied by this yajna? And who is the yajamana of this yajna? Who has to do this yajna? And is this yajna a customary practice of this land, or is it subscribed in the Vedas? So from where did you get this idea for doing this yajna? I want a clear answer for all this, said Krishna. And his father Nandagopa said, my dear son, we are doing this yajna to please Indra. Because Indra is the one who has to give rain. If the rain fails, then our crops will also fail. So to please Indra, we are performing this yajna. If we do not perform this yajna out of laziness or miserliness or out of greed, why should we give him like this? If we thought, and if we do not do this yajna, then we have to face the consequences of it. So for time immemorial, the people here, they do this yajna, he said. And Krishna thought for some time, and he asked his father, Father, the living beings are born by their own karma. They live in this world as the result of their karma. They face death or they leave this world because of their karma. So the karma is behind everything. There is no other goal. No one can influence this karma. Even the gods or even the Ishvara, if he decide, he cannot influence the karma, because karma is the law of the nature. No one can manipulate it. If the Ishvara give merits to a person, then it will be in accordance with his karma. Or if some difficulty happened to that person, it may be according to his karma. No one can manipulate the karma. Even if Indra want to stop the rain, he cannot do it if the people in this land have done a good karma. Or he cannot have mercy and give rain to this land if the people here have not done any good karma. So everything is strictly based on this karma. Indra cannot influence that karma or obstruct the merit of that karma or give more for that karma. He cannot do. We are all slave to the effects of one's own previous actions. And all living beings work according to their karma, whether it is a man or celestial being. All creatures are subject to their nature, which is the product of their karma. So, what a nature a person has, that is strictly based on his karma. So, what can Indra do here? देहानुच्चावचाञ्छन्तुः प्राप्योत्सृजति कर्मण शत्रुमित्रमिमुदासीनः कर्मैव गुरुरीश्वरः. The jiva gets a body or abandon a body, take the lower birth or higher birth, a person's, that is a jiva's enemy, friend, relatives, teacher, deity, everything is strictly based on his or her karma. So it is the karma that dictates all our actions. Tasman sambhujayet karma swabhavastha swakarma krita ajnasayena varteta tadevasya hi daivatam. Therefore, do one's own duty that is in accordance with one's nature. And honor karma, worship that karma. Sambhujayet karma, that is worship that karma. Whatever that gives happiness to us, that is our deity. If the work gives happiness to a man, then that work should be worshipped because that work is the deity. So worship the karma, worship the work. One should not get help from one and give the benefits to someone and or praise another person. So it is unfaithfulness. So Indra cannot do anything here. It is the karma. If the people here, they get rain because it's because of their past karmas. If they have not done any good karma to get rain, then definitely they have to face drought. Only Indra cannot. Indra is helpless here. And the nature has three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And the power of the nature, that is the rajasic power of the nature, it gives the rain to all the land, mountain, everywhere. It is by the rajasic nature of this prakriti, we get, all of us get rain. So what has Indra got to do with this? And moreover, we are forest tribe. Krishna is telling we are forest tribe. We depend on the cattle because cattle is our wealth. We depend on the place we live. Now here the place is Govardhanagiri. We all live around it, and this Govardhanagiri is protecting us. And all our sacrifices, yajna or whatever worship, it is done by the Brahmanas. So the cow, that is our wealth, has to be worshipped. Then the Govardhanagiri and the Brahmanas, because they help us to perform the yajna. So they all should be worshipped, and not Indra, who was not related to our life in any way. And he said, Father, if you and your people accept what I said is right, then you perform all this. That is, worship Govardhanagiri, worship the cow, that is the cattle, and worship the Brahmanas. Then I will be happy, they also will be happy. But if you do not feel this is right, and if you want to continue with that old practice of worshipping Indra, you can also do that. It is your freedom to do anything. But if you do this, I will be happy, he said. And Nanda and his men thought for some time, and they said, yes, it's right. It is the cattle that give us all that wealth, and it is the Govardhanagiri that is protecting us in all ways, and the Brahmanas. They help us to do many sacrifices. So the Brahmanas also should be worshipped. They decided that way, and they worshipped the cattle, that is cows, everything. And they worshipped the Brahmanas by giving him elaborate gifts, and they worshipped them. And with this same material only, they put everything in a cart, and they went round and round, circumambulated the Govardhanagiri. and worshipped Govardhanagiri. So they were all happy by that. Now, what happened next was Indra got very angry because no one is caring for him. He got very angry and he summoned the clouds, that is the Pralaya Kala clouds, and asked the clouds to hover or above the settlement, that cowhead settlement in Govardhana, that is in Vrindavana. You go there and pour rain in that cowhead settlement, destroy the cattle because they are very proud of their wealth. Destroy what all movable and immovable property they have. Just destroy it. And humble the pride of that boy, Krishna. He's a mere Gopal, a silly boy, only 6 or 7 years old, and he is controlling everything. He is controlling the nature, controlling Indra itself. So go and hover above that cowhead settlement and pour rain. You go first, I will come later with the fierce wind deity, Indra said. So all these clouds hovered around in and above the cowhead settlement, and there was unexpected torrential rain, hailstorms, thunder, lightning, and wind also. So they all did not understand what is happening in Vrindavan. It was unexpected. So they were completely, every place in and around that Vrindavan was completely covered by rainwater. All the cattle, they were drenched in rainwater. The people, the gopas, the gopis, the children, they did not have any place to stay, and all their settlement, water entered in all their settlement, and they did not understand what to do. Atyasarati vatena pashavo jata vepanaha gopa gopyascha shritartha govindam sharanayayuhu. The cows, the gopas, and the gopis, they were shivering in distress and in this chill climate, and they were drenched everywhere. And because of their fierce wind and rain, they were just shivering in distress. And they took shelter in Govinda, that Gopa who gives shelter to all of them. And all the cows with their calves, they just gathered at the feet of Krishna. And all the gopas, gopis, Nanda Gopa, everyone came and said, Krishna, do something. So it is heavy rain. We are all drenched in that rainwater, so do something. And Krishna very well understood that this is the irate behavior of Indra. And actually he wanted to bless Indra by humbling his pride. He thought that no one should be the master of this creation. They think that they are the master of this creation. Everyone in this world go by their karma. If one take advantage of everyone's karma, then that is not right. So Krishna decided to humble the pride of Indra. And he said, Tasman matsharanam ghoshtam manyadam matparigraham gopaye swatma yogena soyam me vrata ahitaha. So I have to exercise my higher power. I shall save this cowhead settlement because they have taken Sharana in me. They all took shelter in me, and they are looking up at me as their leader. So I have to protect them. That is my firm resolve, said Krishna. Krishna decided like this, and he just lifted the Govardhanagiri. He lifted that Govardhana mountain just like as if we are lifting a mushroom, like that. In a very easy way, he lifted the Govardhanagiri. And when he lifted the Govardhanagiri and he held that mountain in his hand, many pictures we have seen, and many people say that Bhagavan lifted the Govardhanagiri with his finger. But here in Bhagavata, it is said that he lifted the Govardhanagiri by his hand. And he lifted it up. And so there was a cavity was created under that mountain, isn't it? And now Krishna called all the Gopas, Gopis, oh Gopa, oh Gopis, come here, come and stay here under this place, under this mountain. You will not be affected by the wind or the rain. You can stay here till the rain subsides. So you play, all of you come here with your cattle, with your wealth, with all your relatives, friends, dependent people on you. You come here, all of you come here. And he said, Natra sa iha va karyo maddastadrini padhane vada varsha bhaye nalam tatranam vihidam hivaha. Do not fear that this mountain will slip away from my hand. It won't happen. And don't be fearful of this Vata Varsha, that is this wind or rain. It won't affect you in any way. I am here. I am offering protection to you all. So all of you come here. So the Gopas, the Gopis, with their cart full of their belongings, their cattle, everything, that whole village itself rushed to that place under the Govardhanagiri. And Bhagavan was very carefully lifting that Govardhanagiri. And it rained for 7 days continuously, day and night. After that 7th day, Indra thought that, see this yogic power of Krishna. He was stunned by it. He was stunned by the yogic power of Krishna. See his yogic power. He must be a divine person. Then only it struck in his mind. And all the time Krishna was lifting that mountain without moving from that place, without having food or having even water. He was just holding that mountain. He was in that yogic posture, lifting that mountain. And all the people under that mountain, all the people of that village, Gopas, Gopis, they were happily living life under that mountain also. So Indra abandoned his pride and also his resolution to destroy the Gokula. He thought that no one can destroy Gokula. Like this he understood, and he stopped the rain. Now slowly the sun came out and all the surrounding places were dry. And now Krishna said to all the rain subsided and the wind and the rain subsided and there was clear sky. And now Krishna said to all the people, oh fellow Gopas, come out with your family, belongings, everything. There is no rain or wind now. Don't be fearful of anything. All of you come out, he called. Now the Gopas, the Gopis, along with their belongings, the cattle, slowly came out of that protection, out of that place under the Govardhanagiri. And Bhagavan, when everyone moved out of that place, Bhagavan Krishna, he slowly reinstalled the mountain in that same place as before. So they all celebrated this event. They all were so happy that Krishna protected us from this Pralayakala water. So they were all happy, they danced and sang, and that was the practice of the Gopas and the Gopis, and they celebrated. Each day was their celebration in their life. And all the Gopas and Gopis blessed Krishna. Now they all surrounded him and circumambulated him, danced around him. So they all were happy. This is the lifting of Govardhanagiri by Bhagavan Krishna. He was a mere child of a boy of 6 or 7 years of age. So this is one of the very famous Leela of Bhagavan Krishna. I will come up with another Leela of Krishna in my next upload. Om Namo Narayana Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.